Also, breaking news out of Seattle to tell you about, where that now infamous sex predator is roaming the streets of Freeman. We just learned that Michael Stanley, a man who has raped elderly people and children, is now living near a preschool. And what's worse, Seattle PD and King County deputies can't do anything about it. Now, Stanley did register as a sex offender. However, here's the other problem. When he registered, he put down First Avenue and Pike Street as his address. That's a street corner. The intersection, home to the world-famous Pike Place Fish Market that all of you, of course, know in Seattle. Then 1 block away, Pike Place Preschool and Daycare. And the guy is homeless.
Yeah.
He registers at the intersection where he's been living. I didn't know this. I thought you had to have an address when you registered as a sex offender. Tanya,
no,
you don't.
You don't. It is really, really bizarre. I mean, it used to be here in Fulton County where I practiced, where if a sex offender was homeless, that was grounds to basically arrest them as being in violation. The law was changed to basically not criminalize people who can't afford to find a place to live. They can literally give you the address of a bridge. We have sex offenders in Fulton County that give it their registered
the registry,
under a bridge.
The registry is like one step, okay? You've got to register. It has some level of deterrence, I guess. But really, I mean, if someone is that dangerous, depending upon what level you are, you need to track them.
All right, well, let's talk about that.
You need to track them.
Sergeant Cindy West from the King County Sheriff's Office on the line. They're the ones actually tasked with tracking Stanley. So, Sergeant, could you explain to us why this guy is allowed to register at this street corner, especially near a preschool?
Well, as the other person on the panel mentioned, we can't penalize him because he is homeless, and so his requirement is to give us a general cross address of where he would likely be able to be found. As a homeless registered sex offender, he is required to check in with us weekly to let us know his whereabouts and if anything has changed.
Now, I thought legally, if you register as a sex offender, you can't be living close to a school.
I don't know about other states, but that's not true here. The only time that is true is if you're under Department of Corrections supervision, and one of the requirements or one of the restrictions put on you is that you cannot live within so many feet or something of a school or daycare. But for a registered sex offender that has no DOC restrictions, no, they can live wherever they want. And I can tell you the public here is pretty fired up about this situation, but it's not just this guy. We have hundreds of sex offenders in this city and state, like most agencies probably do, that probably are far worse than this guy.
Guys, 48, what is it, 49 convictions. He's only 48. He raped an 82-year-old elderly woman. He raped a 15-month-old baby. I mean, this guy's rap sheet is disgusting. So what are you doing now to just alert people in Seattle about this guy, to keep your streets safe, to keep him away from kids? I think a lot of people want to know what the heck, you guys are able to do.
Well, first I want to say I don't have any specific knowledge of what his offenses were in Canada. What we're doing...
Oh, it's out there. Everybody's talking about it. All you have to do is Google it. His rap sheet is public record. It's out there. It's awful.
Yeah, and I believe that. But on our end, what we have to do is we have to get those documents from the Canadian officials, and then we have to classify him into what level of sex offender he would be here based on comparable offenses. And so we can't even officially do that until we get those. I can tell you that the public is very aware of this individual here. He's been, one of the news stations here actually tracked him down and followed him and interviewed him. So his picture and his story is plastered all over.
I'm confused about why it's taking so long to get whatever documentation you need about his underlying offenses.
Go ahead and answer that, Cindy.
I wish I could. I talked to our detectives today, and they said it could take up to a month to get that information. I know we're working closely with Canada. We have been from the start, but we can only do what the law says that we can do in this case.
Well, let's pray to God this guy doesn't hurt anybody while we wait. Well, we appreciate you calling in, Cindy West from the King County Sheriff's Office. We'll be in close touch. We'll continue to follow Michael Stanley's whereabouts. Well, the mother of an accused cyberbully denies her daughter